And live on YouTube with Lauren Munt and weather with Tom Tiefertiller.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for First Alert 7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us live on our YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and we're going to start tonight with some new details because we are your first alert to new details. 22-year-old Yanira Prado, the woman charged with killing her newborn baby, is being held for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. That's according to jail records. Now, you might remember when officers found the baby, they ordered an autopsy for the suspicious death. That report found the cause of death to be asphyxiation. Prado was arrested without incident, and ICE says that it uses immigration detainers for potentially dangerous non-citizens who've been arrested or are removable from the United States. And we want to be the first to alert you to something going around social media. If you've seen a post saying that a serial killer is knocking on doors in Odessa, well, police want you to know that those posts are fake. Police say that the posts are about someone named Robert Thibodeau who knocks on people's doors and then attacks them. OPD says nothing in these posts is true, and they are designed to create public panic. Now, First Alert 7 did do a quick search on social media, and we found the same text and pictures that were used in different cities all across the country. Again, they're just trying to fool people. Across the state, there's a potential for a ban on social media for minors. You might remember a bill authorized by Representative Dustin Burrows last season. It's the Securing Children Online through Parental Empowerment Act. It went into effect in September, and it gives parents more power to regulate what their child does online through increased parental controls. Now, lawmakers are suggesting other initiatives, like a bill filed to prohibit minors from creating social media accounts and requiring age verification for new users. Lawmakers head back to the state capitol in January. Also on Capitol Hill, Senator John Cornyn met with Kash Patel, President-elect Donald Trump's pick for director of the FBI. Now, Trump has stood by Patel even though concerns have been raised that he could fire a number of FBI agents. Today, Cornyn said that he interpreted those comments as a hyperbole. Cornyn also said he believes the top law enforcement agency should be nonpartisan.
And my goal would be to restore the nonpartisan functioning of the chief law enforcement agency in the country, the FBI and the Department of Justice. To me, that is the goal. Mr. Patel said he shares that goal, and so we had, that was reassuring.
President-elect Donald Trump says border security will be top of his list of priorities when he takes office in January. Back here in West Texas, we're going to take a pause and talk your weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller because there's some changes on the way. Tom?
Yes, we got that cold front rolling through right now, and it looks like things are starting to cool off. Again, your first alert showing that a front's going to arrive this evening. Very cold wind chills down into the 20s first thing in the morning, and then a widespread, well, I'm having trouble with that. Widespread freeze on the way for all of West Texas, southeast of Mexico, coming up early Wednesday morning. Here's what we're looking at. Today's high temperatures were great, up to 75 out towards Wink and Monaghan, 76 in Fort Stockton. We've cooled off a little bit as we look at the community Christmas tree and some of the Christmas lights back there in one of the Odessa neighborhoods. Temperatures are really starting to cool off. We're down to 43 in Andrews. So you can see that colder air is starting to spill in to the area, and the winds are coming around to the northeast up to 22 in Big Spring right now. Some gusts have been up around 30 miles an hour, so that's going to make for a bitterly cold morning, as these are the lowest wind chills first thing Tuesday morning into the mid to upper 20s across the Permian Basin, so it is going to feel rather cold out there coming up first thing in the morning.
Thank you, Tom. We've got a story all new at 9 o'clock for you now. ECISD has started the next phase of finding their new superintendent. Our very own Rachel Fortunato explains the next step in this process. Rachel?
Tonight, the Texas Association of School Boards held town halls to receive input from the Ector County community.
Well, I think it's important for the community to let their voice be heard.
These town halls give the community a chance to tell TASB the qualities and qualifications they are looking for in the next ECISD superintendent. The ECISD board did not attend, hoping it would allow community members to speak more freely. TASB started by asking attendees to tell them what they love about their community. If TASB chooses to hire someone who doesn't already live in the area, they will have to move their entire life here.
We take care of our own. There's a lot of things going on in the community. We've got great high school football here. There's events going on in this town all the time. It's a great place to live.
They next asked for current issues, concerns, or challenges the district is facing. Possible things that the new superintendent could be tasked with fixing.
Amount of assessment in the district. We're doing really well at teaching kids, but sometimes there's maybe too much assessment, kind of balancing that assessment with the instruction.
Other issues brought up included the retention of teachers in the district and the large class sizes. Finally, TASB asked for the community to share what professional and personal characteristics the board needs to look for in the next leader.
Somebody that can actually lead the district, somebody that can hold people accountable. We want somebody that has high standards for themselves and for the district and for the teachers. We need somebody that's community minded, that can be good with community relations, and somebody that can fight for our district in Austin.
Applications for the future superintendent are open and are expected to close on January 8th. After that, the board will be tasked with picking finalists and starting the interview process. TASB says they could be looking at a final candidate by March.
I think it's great. The sooner the better. Get in there, figure out what's going on, and get our school district ready for next year.
If you did not make it to tonight's town halls, there will be a third and final tomorrow, Tuesday, December 10th at 6 p.m. at the Kellis Turner Community Center. If you cannot attend any, then you can take a survey off thoughts through. So you can give your thoughts through an online survey. You can find that link to this story on our website. For First Alert 7 News, I'm Rachel Fortunato.
Thank you, Rachel. Continuing in your education news, a global literacy program is now calling Midland County home. It's Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, and it's known for providing free books to children worldwide. And guess what? It's arrived in the Permian Basin. This program had distributed over 180 million books since its founding in 1995. And they help children across the globe build strong literacy skills. And now children in the Permian Basin will get one high-quality book each month that's specially selected to inspire creativity, curiosity, and, of course, imagination.
For children and even into adulthood, that reading early in childhood has a direct correlation to literacy overall and to overall academic achievement.
Whether that's being a child and studying in third grade, or whether that's being an adult and trying to read your safety instructions at the workplace. So I think reading is just a foundation for so many of the other things that we do on a day-to-day basis.
A donation from ExxonMobil is going to help sustain the program and support the Literacy Coalition of the Permian Basin's mission to improve literacy skills and, of course, enhance quality of life right here in West Texas. And it's the season of giving. Some local students are being taught that you can help others at any age. Take a look. These are 6th graders from Pease Elementary over in Midland, and they work to collect nearly 3,000 items to support the Disciples Food Pantry, which distributes 6,000 pounds of food weekly to more than 90 families. And speaking of giving, tonight the West Texas Food Bank and Green Tree Neighborhood partnered up to spread Christmas cheer while also giving back to those in need. They hosted a festive golf cart parade tonight. The West Texas Food Bank serves 19 counties, which is 34,000 square feet miles of Texas. This past year, they did over 13.5 million pounds of food. Now, 50 golf carts were in today's parade, and each of those drivers donated to the food bank.
We have all of these families that spend time all this weekend decorating their golf carts for the parade, and they all come out and they drive through Green Tree Golf Club. There's usually about 150 carts that have signed up, so it's very festive. There's music, there's lights, there's candies being thrown.
If you missed tonight's parade, don't worry, this is not the last time that you can volunteer with the West Texas Food Bank. On December 21st, they are having a sorting and processing event for your kids' sports teams at 432. And speaking of the holidays, Keep Midland Beautiful is asking people to remember to clean up after themselves and properly get rid of your trash, especially as there tends to be more trash around the holidays. Now, Keep Midland Beautiful says if your dumpsters are full, wait. Don't overfill them because overfull dumpsters can cause litter to get blown into the wind or even be carried off by animals. Now, they do want you to throw your food scraps into the dumpster because they'll decay and smell bad, but if you can, wait to get rid of any wrapping paper and bows until the trash isn't as full. And after Christmas, if you've got a tree that you need to get rid of, the tree recycling locations are at Hogan Park behind the Armory on Lamesa Road. in the Citizens Collection station by the air park. And talking about the holiday season, Christmas, it's only 16 days away. The race is on to get your holiday decorations up if you haven't already, just in time for festivities. But the more that you plug in, the greater the chance that things may light up for all the wrong reasons. Garrett Stringfellow from our sister station in Sherman, Texas, has more about holiday safety.
From a Christmas tree in your living room to Santa Claus on the porch and everything in between, beautiful decorations spread holiday cheer, but can also pose a risk.
Typically, we run 2 or 3 or 4 calls a year on some kind of maybe electrical, could be from Christmas lights.
The National Fire Protection Association says that home decorations contribute to over 800 house fires a year, dozens of injuries and deaths, and millions of dollars in property damage.
But now we're actually seeing a little bit of a trend coming down with the LED lights.
LEDs give off little to no heat, use about 80 to 90% less energy than incandescents, and in general are much safer. Just a couple of reasons it may be time to upgrade if you're using an old set.
Piece of the wire showing, things like that. If it's duct taped up, you may want to just discard that, go with something new.
And even though your tree is probably not this big, those lights can still draw a lot of power. So it's important to keep an eye on what you're plugging in.
When you plug in multiple extension cords or multiple surge protectors, you're putting too much load on that one breaker. The breaker could fail and not go off. Now you've got a fire in the electrical box.
And if you're putting a display outside, make sure to use decorations that are specifically rated for that.
Now you need GFCI plugs outside. Those are a ground fault breaker. If water gets on it and it creates a short circuit there, it just kills that plug there.
So that your holidays will continue to be both merry and safely bright. Reporting, Garrett Stringfellow, News 12.
Coming up, UTPB wrapped up their football season over the weekend. We're going to recap their year. That's next in your local sports. Talking local sports now, former Midland ISD Executive Director of Athletics Blake Felt joined the University of Texas Permian Basin as the school's new Assistant Athletic Director for Revenue Generation. Felt played football for Midland High School before graduating in 1979, and he was the head football coach at Permian High School before Jeff Ellison. In a statement released by UTPB, Felt said, quote, "It is imperative that we have the means to expand the opportunities that UTPB athletics provides. The Champions Fund will turn dreams into realities for both the student body and the entire Permian Basin." Speaking of UTPB, on Saturday, the Falcon football team ended their season in the Heritage Bowl. The Falcons finished 7-5 with their second straight playoff appearance. Here's what head coach Chris McCulloch's thoughts were on the 2024 campaign.
You know, this 2024 squad is special and will always be near and dear to me because of the adversity we faced together, and we are the first group that ever went back-to-back as far as winning seasons at UTPB, so that's huge.
Switching over to basketball, the UTPB women's team is 3-0 to open conference play. They had a huge win over A&M International before pulling out a close one to A&M Kingsville. Head coach Ray Booth hopes to see improvement on the little things over time as they look ahead for more Lone Star opponents.
You know, it was a reality check. Like, let's get back to work, back to the basics, and commit to things that we can control. And our team did an excellent job. You know, our players did an excellent job putting that in into game mode.
Don't forget, we've got even more local sports with our very own sports director, Jair Brooks Davis, so be sure to tune in.
Well, we are going to be looking at some very chilly conditions first thing in the morning. Wind chill values down into the 20s. We'll talk about that and show you how we're going to be dealing with a freeze Wednesday morning up next.
Now, from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, some cold weather is on the way. Here's a big reason why. We still have a northwesterly flow in the upper levels. That's bringing in dry air, but also some cold air occasionally across the area. So we're going to be looking at that for tomorrow, and especially into early Wednesday. But overall, though, this weather pattern is going to be fast moving. So we're going to see things warm back up a little bit and be very seasonable for the rest of the week. Right now across the state, we are seeing that front start to roll into portions of the Permian Basin right now down into central Texas. We're seeing that at the present time as the temperatures, again, we're going to skip by that front as it's a little slow, but you can see temperatures are all the way down to 38 in Amarillo. 53 is what we have out at the Middle National Air and Spaceport, so it's starting to become a little bit chilly out there as that colder air is starting to spill down into the south and southeast. That front should make it through the Trans-Pecos by about 1 a.m. or so and clearing most areas of West Texas by the early morning hours. These are gusts up around 20 to 25 miles an hour that will continue throughout the day, so it's going to be a rather brisk day across the areas. We're going to keep temperatures chilly. And again, first thing in the morning, We're going to see the lowest wind chill values down into the mid 20-degree range across the area. So you're going to need to bundle up as you head off to work and school, and probably stay bundled up because it's going to be a little chilly outside, again, with that brisk north and northwest wind. We do have a freeze watch in effect for areas here across portions of Presidio Valley, the Big Bend area, Terrell County. Haven't seen the first freeze of the season yet, but most areas of West Texas, southeast New Mexico also looking at a pretty good moderate freeze first thing Wednesday morning. So please take freeze precautions with the PEPs, the pipes, and the plants, and also check on people. Make sure they're staying warm, have plenty of heat during this cold spell. We're going to be looking at temperatures tonight dropping down into the mid-30s across the area. Those north winds will be gusty, so start the day some wind chill values into the 20s. Actual temperatures warming back up into the upper 40s, so it's going to be a brisk one, especially when you factor into that wind. Your First Alert 7 10-day forecast. First Alert weather day for widespread freeze. First thing Wednesday morning. We should rebound a little bit by the afternoon. And it looks like temperatures stay out of freezing territory the rest of the week as we see a little bit of a warm up right now. Looking fantastic for the Merry Lights Parade in Midland coming up on Saturday.
Up next here at 9, a Supreme Court case that could change the scope of environmental impact reports. Lawyers say that the system in place isn't working. The story next. A major environmental case is hitting the Supreme Court tomorrow. A ruling could change how developers are able to operate and whether they can be sued. Our Washington reporter Molly Martinez has the story.
Before a major infrastructure project begins, developers are asked to complete something called an environmental impact report. This takes a look at any possible disruption to wildlife, local communities, water quality, you name it. The results of these findings can take years to complete and cost millions of dollars. But the question is, how big of an area should a developer be responsible for these environmental impacts? That's the question justices will decide on Tuesday.
The project is to build a new rail line in a part of Utah called the Uinta Basin.
In 2021, the green light was given for a new railway that would transport something called waxy crude oil. Jay Johnson, who litigated this case, explains.
The Surface Transportation Board spent 2.5 years and wrote a 3,600-page environmental impact statement to explain everything about the environmental effects of this new 88-mile railroad.
Environmental groups sued, asking what happens if there's a spill outside of that 88-mile stretch, say in Colorado or Louisiana. A larger legal question opened up of how far upstream or downstream a developer needs to consider.
Agencies and project proponents, investors, the public have a right to know what the law requires.
Ahead of Tuesday's oral arguments, Justice Neil Gorsuch announced that he will be recusing himself from this case, citing a possible conflict of interest during his time in the private sector. At the Supreme Court, I'm Molly Martinez.
Still ahead, how you can help make a difference in the community by donating to the Midland Soup Kitchen. We've got the details. All right, Tom, the Midland Soup Kitchen needs your help. They need everybody's help because they're collecting toys for kids in need. They're going to be collecting these toys until the 17th, and they're asking that those toys be new and unwrapped. Last year, the ministry collected 2,800 gifts for kids, but they're saying that this year they're way behind their goal. So if you're able to, maybe pick up an extra toy or a few extra and drop them off at the Midland Soup Kitchen to give some kids some toys this Christmas.
Yeah,
maybe
try to help them out. That's a good cause here.
Absolutely, a really great cause.
This time of year. It's finally going to feel like Christmas a little bit.
I know, I'm excited.
It's a little chilly out there, and it's going to stay chilly as we roll in towards your Tuesday morning. We're going to see temperatures, wind chill values going to feel like the mid to upper 20s tomorrow. Actual temperatures up to about 48 degrees. And then Wednesday morning, we have it flashing red there for a reason. That's a first alert weather day for a sub-freezing morning. Be sure to take precautions with the pets, the pipes, the plants, and
we just found out about warming shelters.
Yes. Trying to keep people warm.
Army.
Yeah, check on your people too to make sure they are staying warm in this cold spell.
Stay safe and stick with us for any information. Thanks for joining us tonight on First Alert 7 News at 9 on the CW. Got more coming up.